Quite a while back, I reviewed the Asus ZenBook UX534, and I did mention that that laptop might just be the laptop for most people out there. Now today I have with me the bigger brother, the UX534, and if you looked at the 434 and thought, yeah, I wanted something a little bigger, this is the one. As for the specs, this here is the latest variant of the UX534, which has the 10th gen Intel chips. So it's running an Intel Core i7-10510U, an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650 Max-Q, 16GB of RAM and a 1TB NVMe SSD. With that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about the design, which technically in general, it's pretty similar to the UX434. You get the same royal blue finish, that iconic ripple design on the aluminum surface, and that subtle gold trim near the hinge. As I've said before, I like the design on the UX434. This here, no exception. It's a really minimalistic design and does feel quite premium as well. For the display, you now get a 15.6-inch 4K IPS display that is capable of 100% sRGB coverage. Should you want to opt for a 1080p panel, that's available as well. It goes without saying that the display here is great with good viewing angles and the colors are rich and vibrant. Given that it is 4K as well, you'll definitely enjoy watching content on this laptop. Although I'll still stand by my opinion that 4K on a laptop is not really necessary, especially with all the issues that comes with Windows scaling. But it is sharp and nice, no doubt. Up top, you do get a HD webcam with support for Windows Hello, but down at the keyboard, this is where things get slightly different. You do actually get a numpad for the bigger form factor, which I believe some of you out there might appreciate. As for the typing experience itself, it's comfortable and enjoyable. Keys are nice and tactile, and it's pretty much the same as it did on the UX434. My only gripe about it, well, I don't like the inclusion of the numpad. I personally prefer a 15-inch laptop without a numpad because the keyboard is now centralized and it makes for a better typing experience, in my opinion. Next is the trackpad, and just like the UX434, it doubles as a smaller secondary display as well with a maximum resolution of 2160 by 1080. With it, you can launch apps right from the home screen, or you can swap apps between the two displays and more. Overall, I would say it depends on your usage, but I myself didn't really use it at all. 1. It's a much smaller display. 2. I have to actually tilt my head down to look at it. And 3. If you were to use it as a second display, you can't use it as a trackpad, vice versa. Now we come to I/O, and given the bigger form factor, it does offer slightly more. On the right, you get your power jack, HDMI 2.0, USB 3.1, a Type-C port, and an SD card reader, which I feel is a nice touch. On the left, you get another USB 3.1, and the last being the headphone mic combo jack. Overall, there's quite a good variety of I/O, and with the included SD card reader, I believe that most of you creatives out there will definitely appreciate. Now, as previously mentioned, this is the 10th gen model, and a slight performance bump is definitely nice to have. In Cinebench R20, it's definitely much faster, especially compared to the 8th gen i7-8565U in both the multi-core and the single-core test. As for DaVinci Resolve, the render times are quite good. Though to be noted, DaVinci does favour the GPU more, and that's why you're seeing much better performance compared to the UX434. With a GTX 1650 Max-Q, that also means you can play games and you can expect very playable frame rates in games like CSGO or PUBG, and even AAA titles like Devil May Cry 5. In short, it's decent, if not a great gaming experience. As for temperatures, it's not that bad. It'll hover anywhere from the low 80s to the mid 80s when rendering or gaming, and is still able to do so with clocks higher than the base. Of course, what good is the laptop if it can't last? Included is a 71 Wh battery that will give you about 8 hours of battery life depending on your usage. But 8 hours with a 4K display is not too bad. Final thoughts. If you were looking at a UX434 and you wanted everything that offered but a bit bigger, this is it. It's just a great everyday laptop, and you can even do some creative work or gaming on the side. Drop us a comment if you have any questions, subscribe to us if you haven't, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Till the next one, see ya!